I've got one question for you. Are you ready to get your game on?
The longest-running off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet is coming to you live with the biggest guest in motorsports. Here is the only man on the planet who can pack this much dirt slinging and tire slaying into 2 hours a week. Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to get your ears blown. Here is Jim Beaver and the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, schooled by DirtFish Rally School, and anywhere is possible with General Tire. And don't forget, we're always rolling on KMC wheels as well. I am your host, Jim Beaver, back in the saddle on a Monday here in the Down and Dirty Radio Show studios. And good to be home for at least a few days because here in a couple days I am jetting off to Missouri, Salem, Missouri to be exact. And we're going to be throwing it down with Rally America Radio at the 100-Acre Wood Rally. But keeping you guys up to date on current events, I was at the UTV World Championship brought to you by our good friends at Polaris Razor this weekend. I got to tell you, talk about an amazing, remarkable event. We're going to get into it in depth later on in the show. But I got to tell you, for a UTV-only event in its first year, I don't think you can ask for much more. I mean, off the hook, 120-plus UTVs, over 200 total entries. It was pretty wild. Not to mention Supercross happening over the weekend, shaking things up with the results. Also Snocross, so we're going to have Dani Medin calling in, as you guys know, to cover some Snocross. Amy Houde, she's back in the last 30 minutes of the show in her, I guess her branded spot, we'll call it. But Amy Houde, she'll be calling in to talk some Supercross. Also some big announcements on her part. Also know she went out and took in some monster truck racing over the weekend, so maybe we'll chat a little bit about that. But the big one, Antoine L'Estage, 15-time rally champion. He is going to be on air in just a few minutes. And, anytime you can nail down Antoine, it's always a fun time. Talk about a great personality, guy who's been around the block as far as North American rally. I mean, he's won the Canadian Rally Championship 7 times, 7-time North American champion. He's won the Rally America Championship. This guy, he is legit, just making his announcement a few months ago that he was running a factory-back Subaru. So going to be great catching up with Antoine. I got to tell you, this interview, a long time coming. Known Antoine for quite a while, and we're finally getting him on air. I'm excited about it. Stoked to deliver this interview to you guys. I know it's one that you guys have been requesting for a long, long time. So stoked to get that going on. And, just another great day here at the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Got to tell you, this Thursday, be watching. We got a big announcement we're going to be dropping on another place picking up the show. We're going to be airing this one, pretty big deal. So very excited to make that announcement on Thursday, rolling it out with their announcement. So, we'll be looking on Thursday for that announcement, but continuing to grow and grow and grow. And, speaking of that, I got to tell you guys, I had somebody ask me over the weekend, out at the UTV World Championship, what is the Down and Dirty Radio Show? Well, obviously it started out and it was kind of just an off-road radio show. Quickly expanded into rally and all things dirt sports. And, what is it today? I really don't know. It's kind of taken on organically its own it's become its own monster, so to speak. It truly has become its own monster. We're, just happy to be here every Monday. Are we ever going to cover NASCAR or IndyCar? I'm not going to say never, but most likely not. But that doesn't mean if Kurt Busch wanted to come on air, I would tell him no at this point. Those of you NASCAR fans, you know what I'm talking about. But, we've just kind of gone our own direction and doing things off the grid. Well, not exactly off the grid, but kind of doing things our own way and covering the motorsports I care about, and I think we really, truly are the only radio show where, you may get Travis Pastrana on air the same day as you may have some Lucas Oil regional off-road racer And, at the same time, we may have Amy Hood calling in from Canada talking Supercross and Kirby Chambliss talking air racing. It's we're our own monster. We're our own beast. And, I just cover the motorsports that I think are fun. And that I watch and pay attention to on the weekends. And, that being said, you're right. I did not watch the Daytona 500. Congrats goes out to Joey Logano for the win. But, I didn't watch it. I was at the UTV World Championship and catching up on Supercross on the DVR on Sunday. I didn't watch Daytona. Not that I don't appreciate what the NASCAR guys do, and I'd love to, drive one of those cars someday and I can appreciate what they do, but it's just not what I'm into. It's not what this show is about. So I don't know if I've confused you more than anything, but we are what we are, and thanks to all of you for listening in. We continue to grow every week. We've got some amazing partners backing us, and here's hoping we can keep you guys stoked on all things action motorsports. But I've been rambling on enough, and I think it's about time to get to this Antoine L'Estage interview. All right, and we are here with Antoine L'Estage. How's everything going, Antoine?
Yeah, very good. Thanks, you.
Well, I got to tell you, man, you came out of in 2015 fire and made a big announcement with Subaru. Go to the first rally, you end up taking the victory there. Big announcement with DirtFish. I mean, I really don't know if you could start out 2015 any better than you have.
No, it was a very good start of a season, like you're mentioning. Big change for me. Great opportunity to drive for a manufacturer team with Subaru Canada, and there was a lot of pressure for the first event, but even though I was not totally in sync with the car, the guys at Rocket Rally did a great job building a fantastic car, and we were able to win the rally. And just a few days before the event, I came to an agreement with the guys at DirtFish, and I'm really happy with that. Great company, and very good start of 2015, like you're saying.
Yeah, well, tell us a little bit. I know, a lot of fans know you both from the Canadian Rally Series as well as Rally America in the past. How did the whole thing with Subaru come about? I know, for the longest time you've been competitors with Subaru and in Rally America and in the Canadian Series. Now all of a sudden, we find you racing a Subaru.
Yeah, well, I've been rallying on both sides of the border, like you're saying, for a long time. I've been a big fan of the Rally America Series and the Canadian Rally Championship, but all this was done as a private effort. It was my own team, and it was good for a long time. But at some point, it can be hard to run everything as a private team, and I did a few rallies in 2013 with Subaru in the USA, even though it was not part of the manufacturer team. I've been driving Subarus before because I was not linked with any manufacturer, so it was not the first time. And then I've been in discussions with the people of Subaru Canada here for a long time. I've known these guys for a long time, competing against them, and at some point we came up to an agreement at the end of 2014 after I won the Canadian Rally Championship for a seventh time, and here we are. It's great. I'm really happy, and I think we'll have a very good season.
Well, and for you as a driver, I mean, going into this, I mean, I understand being a privateer team, because I do that on the off-road side of things. And, there's so many things you have to worry about behind the scenes, as far as logistics-wise. And, I mean, there's so many different things that go into it. You as a driver, do you feel like, for the first time in your career, maybe you're just able to concentrate on driving and a lot of the other stuff you've had to worry about in the past, it's all handled for you? Yep,
definitely. That's how it is. And but it's not the Subaru Canada team and the Rocket Rally team is not a huge team, so I'm still involved in a bunch of little things, and that's what I want to, because I've been used to that, and I like to be involved. But definitely a lot of things I don't have to stress with anymore, and I can concentrate on driving, and it's great. And it's a great team. It's a great manufacturer. Such a great heritage in rally with Subaru, and it's just great for me, great opportunity, and I'm really happy.
Well, in talking about Subaru, obviously, DirtFish Rally School got a great relationship with Subaru there. How did the DirtFish thing come about? I know, they've been very involved in, the United States with rally and sponsorship of different drivers and teams, and then bringing you into the fold, running the Canadian series up there. I mean, you're with Subaru, a great brand ambassador. How did that come about?
Well, yeah, they do work with Subaru, like you're saying, but they're also very interested in what's happening in Canada, and they are already involved in the Cascadia Cup, which is a cup of regional events maybe that are run on both sides of the borders, mainly out west. So there's some events, I think maybe Olympus and Oregon are part of it, but also the Rocky Mountain Rally and the Pacific Forest Rally. So events from both the Canadian Rally Championship and the Rally America Championship, more out west, are part of that cup that they're involved with. And I think the Canadian market is something that is good for them. And I'm a Canadian driver, and they like what's happening with the Canadian Rally Championship. There's a good TV package, and now that I'm with Subaru, also there's a great link with them, and good visibility hopefully for them. And I'll be down there for a couple of days later in the year, and I think it's just a good thing for them to develop their brand on the Canadian side of things. So hopefully they'll be happy with that, and we can help them.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to talking about Subaru, because obviously stepping into into this new platform for you. I mean, you can't ask for much more other than winning the first event you campaign. But how's the development been with this new car, and what's the outlook for 2015?
Well, it's still a brand new car. It was brought up in the Canadian Rally Championship for the second half of the season in 2014, and the guys were still working hard at developing the car. And but because of a big accident that happened with the team, with the car they had at the last event of 2014, late November, that put everybody on a big rush to prepare everything for the first round of the season, because the break is not very long. So everybody worked really hard to make it happen, but I think there's still a lot more to come. The Rocket Rally guys did build a good car. It's a very good base to start with, and like you said, we won the first rally, so that was really good. But they have a lot of things they're hoping to do later in the year, and also I need to get more comfortable in the car. So there's some testing planned, and then there's some different upgrades that are already planned for the car. So I think it looks really good for the future, and I think when everything is done, it will be a killer machine. And everybody is highly motivated at Rocket Rally, and the Subaru Canada team is ready to do a lot of good things. So it's great. It's a great platform and a great car.
Yeah. Well, and kind of talk about, because right now I know with the Canadian Rally Championship, I know you guys had your first event of the year, and now you got quite a bit of a break before the next one, right?
Yeah, big break. The calendar is a bit weird the way it's made here, because the first event always been there, and it's the only full snow rally of the year, a little bit like in Rally America with Snowdrift. But then after that, we used to have an event in the spring, but it's now moved in the fall. So there's a big break until late June, the next event. So it's a bit of a long break, but at the same time, I think it will be good for us to develop the car and do some testing. And there's been a lot of talking also about the fact that maybe we could go do some rallies in the U.S. And because of Rocket Rally is based out west, there's been talks about maybe going to Oregon or Olympus, but it's too early to say right now, and I can't say anything. It's not my call, but it's certainly a desire from everybody in the team. And if it's not for those rallies, hopefully we can do some Rally America events later in the year, and if not, maybe more next year. So
Yeah, well, and that was going to be one of my next questions. I know a lot of North American rally fans, on this side of the border, they love Antoine L'Estage, and when are we going to see him back in Rally America? So it's something you guys have talked about, and hopefully if everything comes together, I mean, there is interest there for Rocket to bring the Subaru down and compete, in Rally America then.
Yeah, exactly. And I would like to go. I like the competition in the U.S. and I'd like to go against David and Ken if he's there for a few rallies. You know, I've done it for a long time against these guys in the past few years, but at the same time, at the moment, it's not my decision. But I know there's, like I said, there's a strong desire from both from Subaru Canada and Rocket Rally to go do some U.S. rally. But we also want to be ready when we go. So like there's still a bunch of things we want to do in the car, so we'll see, but I think everybody wants to make it happen, so hopefully it will happen.
Yeah. Well, and you've been in the rally game for a long time. I know even growing up, I mean, your family was involved in rally. Talk about the health of North American rally. I mean, we've got a true national championship here in the United States. You've got an amazing championship there in Canada. I mean, kind of talk about the health of rally, because to me, somebody who's never been a competitor, it seems like things as far as rally in North America are really on the upswing right now.
Yes, I agree with you. I think, well, in Canada we have a very good TV package that really helps. The Canadian Rally Championship has been on both the French and English version on TV for the past 10, 15 years now. So it's always been quite good in Canada. But in the U.S., definitely, I think in the past 5-6 years, there's definitely a big improvement in terms of popularity, and when we go to rallies, there's more and more fans out there, and with everything that's happening on social media, also a lot of people can follow rally a bit easily. So yeah, I mean, it's a great sport. It's an extreme sport, and everybody likes to watch a rally either on TV or live, and I think it's getting more and more popular. And it's if you're okay, sometimes it's not. Maybe in the culture of North American people, you're not sitting on a bench and watching cars going around a track for hours. But if you're willing to move a little bit, it's very accessible. It's free to go see a rally, so it's a great adventure, and it's an awesome sport in different conditions. And I think people like it. I think we still need to work on different things to make it even more popular with the general public, because a lot of people, they know rally without really understanding what rally is, but there's definitely a good buzz and a good swing of things in the past few years, so hopefully it stays like that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I got to ask you. I know, last year you tried your hand at Global Rallycross. Well, not Global Rallycross, but a lights car, Rallycross lights car. How was that? And any chance we see you maybe make an attempt, later on this year at maybe a lights, entry, say at the WRX round again?
Maybe we'll see. I really enjoyed it. It was last year I was working really hard to try to drive one of the supercars for the World Championship round here in Quebec and in Trois-Rivières, but it didn't happen. I didn't find the proper budget to do it, and it was really last minute. I got a phone call like really 2 days before the event. I think a lights car was available, and it was crazy last minute. Never tried the car before, sat in it for the first time at the first practice the first day, but I really liked it, and it's a great car to drive, and it was very nimble, light, and I enjoyed I learned a lot because it's totally different than rally, but I really enjoyed it, and a lot of people were saying, yeah, the track is rough and things like that. I thought the track was great. The gravel part, it was getting a bit rougher at the end, but that's not road racing. It's rallycross, and I really liked it. And I would like to try it again this year, but in the big class. So we'll see what happens with that later.
Yeah, well, and hopefully, with Subaru and your involvement there, it opens up some more doors to possibly do some rallycross racing. Yeah,
that would be the goal. I'd have to be in a Subaru anyway, and I think it would be great to be in one of the supercar rallycross cars. But there's a lot of things to put together to make this happen. So we'll see. The priority is to do the Canadian Rally Championship, but if there's a chance. Definitely, I'd like to do some rallycross and try it for one round, maybe.
Yeah. Well, and tell us a little bit. I mean, Antoine L'Estage, day to day. I mean, we all know you as a rally driver, but kind of tell us a little bit about your background, because I know fitness just in all plays a big part of your life.
Yeah, because that's what I do at home when I'm not rallying. I own 4 fitness centers with I have 2 partners of mine, and we're part of a franchise network here in Quebec. And they're not like bodybuilding places; they're more like fitness places. But 4 locations that I need to take care of in the everyday life, and it's always been a big part of my lifestyle. Let's say. Younger, I played hockey. I did a lot of cycling and mountain biking, and I've always tried to stay in good shape. And now I'm working in that industry for the past 15 years. So I split my time between rallying and taking care of my businesses. So yeah, that's what I do. I have 2 kids, and keeps me busy.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask you. You've got a couple of kids. Any chance starting them out young and growing them into rally drivers of the future?
Yeah, maybe we'll see. My daughter is more into gymnastics, and my son, he's 13 now, he's more of a hockey player for now. But he likes to go karting sometimes during the summer. But we'll see. Like me, maybe it will come a little bit later. It was more when I was a teenager, let's say, that I really started to be passionate about racing. My dad was rallying when I was young, and it's more like when I was 14, 15 that I really started to be passionate about it. So maybe it will be the case for them, but for now I don't push them into anything. I think they enjoy it, but at the same time it's part of their life, so it's more of a normal thing for them, So yeah. It's funny. Sometimes my son will have some of his friends at home, and they'll say, "Oh, I want a poster of your dad or something." And my son's like, "What are you talking about? Let's go outside playing hockey." He doesn't. It's just normal for him. So it's interesting, but we'll see. Later, maybe he'll want to do some.
Yeah. Well, and I got a couple of quick hit questions that we'll ask you that some of the fans shot over when they knew you were going to be on air. First of all, you've driven a lot of North American rally, both sides of the border. What is Antoine L'Estage's favorite rally to compete in?
I hate that question because all the events that's what's great about rally. They're all different, and they all bring something special for the drivers. But I have to say the Baie des Chaleurs rally in Quebec, and the next event in the Canadian Rally Championship in June is a fantastic rally that I've always really liked. I really like the snow rallies too, so I could say Snowdrift and Perce-Neige, and I've always liked also STPR in the U.S. Very tough, fast rally, but I've always liked it. So, but I couldn't name them all because they all have something special. So, yeah, it's a tough question. It's impossible to answer just one rally to that question.
All right. Well, we'll ask one a little bit easier. Out of all the rallies that you've won, which one sticks out in your mind the most?
The first one that comes to mind is definitely Défi, which is the third round of the Canadian Rally Championship. It's sort of my home event, and I've won it 8 times. So it's something very special. But also, I think rallies that sticks out in my mind are the ones where I had big battles, either in Canada with Pat Richard, if I think of Rocky Mountain 2012, or in the U.S. with David Higgins. The first year when he came in 2011, when I was able to win in 100 Acre Wood, or Snowdrift 2013, where we had a great battle during 2 days. But also some events where he beat me, like STPR by 1.3 seconds after 2 days of racing, and I think it was in 2011 or something like that. So those are great memories, and it's always good to have a good battle, and yeah, lots of good events in my mind.
Yeah, well, and I know something we haven't even touched on. You actually you're an X Games medal holder, right?
Yeah, I won a bronze medal in 2010. 2010 was a very special year because I was able to win both the Rally America Championship and the Canadian Rally Championship, and in the meantime, I won the North American Rally Cup. So it's what's called, let's say, the Triple Crown, and only one other driver did that in the history, and it was Pat Richard, and I think it was 2004 that he did that. So yeah, that was a great year, and then we went to X Games. At that time, X Games was still really linked with the Rally America series, and there was still a rally portion of it. It was not just the rallycross, and you had to qualify through the Rally America series to go to X Games. And we went there, and it was the debut of the, let's say, more radical cars and rallycross cars. And so in the rallycross section, we didn't really do really well, but there was still back then what they called Super Rally. I think it was side by side by elimination, and we were able to win a bronze medal with the same car we were using during the rally season. So that was, yeah, very cool, and also something, one of the highlights in my career, and especially because it was in such a great year, very successful year.
Yeah, well, and I gotta say, you've got kids. That's got to be one of their favorite things. I mean, seeing an X Games medal. I mean, any kid, it doesn't matter. I mean, they understand the magnitude of an X Games medal. Yeah, definitely. An X Game medal is special for the younger guys, and yeah, it's something very special. I think a lot of people talk to me about that. Actually, I often get that question asked to me, so are you going back to X Games? And they don't really understand where I went and why I'm not going anymore. And I try to explain them that it's more rallycross now. But yeah, for sure to have an X Game medal is something special, and maybe it's something I'll be more happy later when I'm older and I'm in my rocking chair. But yeah, it's for the younger people, it's pretty cool. Yeah. For some reason, I just can't picture Antoine L'Estage in a rocking chair. Not yet. All right. Well, talking about 2015 and the outlook, obviously, 2015, what's on tap for you guys? Just, an attack on the Canadian Rally Championship, looking for that, that title this year, and possibly see you in, in maybe a Rally America round. Anything else you can, let us in on? No, there's nothing else than that. That's basically the plan for now. And but Subaru Canada and the Rocket Rally guys, they really want to develop a fast car, and they want to win all the rallies. They want me to break stage records, and some of them are my own records that will be tough to beat. But it's pretty cool because they want me to push, and I look forward to that, to develop the car with them and try to win. And like we discussed a few minutes ago, I would really like to go do some Rally America events. So if it's not in the spring for the Western rallies, maybe something on the East Coast later in the year, and try to match it with a Canadian event. So hopefully that will happen. But that's the main plan for now, the Canadian Rally Championship, and hopefully a few rounds, and work hard on developing the car, and maybe do more next year if everything's all good with the car, So yeah, but it's exciting. Like I said before, I'm really happy. Great opportunity, great team, and I look forward to the season to go again. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time for an interview. I know awful busy, and looking forward to seeing you this year in the Canadian Series, and hopefully we see you make an appearance in Rally America at some point too. Yeah, I look forward to that too. Thanks, Jim. All right. Thanks a lot, Antoine. Yeah, talk about a guy that has helped define North American rally for the last decade plus. I mean, Antoine L'Estage, you think Canadian Rally, you think Rally America, and his name is one of the first that come to mind. That's definitely for sure. He's been around the block and seen it all, and still driving at an elite level. And pretty cool to see a guy like that after so many years and so many championships finally get that factory backed ride with Subaru Canada. And I think it's really cool. And I guess me personally, obviously they go the first round of the Canadian Rally Championship, and and won that round. And I think it's very cool that they're not going to rest on their laurels, because chances are they could probably they'd have a really fair shot at sweeping the Canadian Rally Championship this year. But they're looking at that going, how do we improve the car? How do we improve the program? Well, we're going to go to Rally America. We're going to go and run against against Subaru Rally Team USA. We're going to go head to head with Higgins. We're going to see, it's going to be Subaru Canada versus Subaru US, and you throw, we know Block's going to run some rounds this year. We know Pastrana's going to run some rounds this year, and gosh, could you imagine the perfect storm if we can get Block, Pastrana, Higgins, and Antoine L'Estage back at the same rally? I mean, we've seen some epic battles with those four in the past. To me, that gets me excited. Are we going to see it? Let's make it happen this year. Those four in an event. We can't throw Adam Yeoman under the bus because he's amazing in Rally America and what he's accomplished. And I know once he gets his motor problems figured out, his car is definitely going to be quicker. But have a true open class battle up there at the front of Rally America would be just remarkable. And on the flip coin, it'd be great to see some of the United States teams go up and rally in Canada with the Canadian Rally Championship. I think, that'd be cool to see as well. Definitely a two-way street there. But, it's cool to know that Antoine and Rocket Rally and Subaru Canada, they have their sights on doing some North American or some United States rounds with Rally America this year. And I think that's very cool. So, great interview with Antoine L'Estage. I mean, a great ambassador for the sport of rally in North America. His new relationship with DirtFish Rally School, I think, is absolutely tremendous, and he's a great person to have on board with the DirtFish Rally brand, and looking forward to see the way 2015 shakes out for Antoine L'Estage, DirtFish, and and Rocket Rally and Subaru Canada. I think it's going to be an exciting year for them, and it's Pat Richard is not an easy seat to fill. But I think Antoine definitely is the guy to fill that seat. So, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to have a DirtFish Rally report. We're going to have some Polaris Razor's Edge UTV news, all about the UTV Championship. And we'll get into some other results from the weekend as well. And I'll be throwing out a DirtFish Rally School coupon code on air here after the break, 10% off DirtFish Rally School. If you want that coupon code, you better stay tuned because we're throwing it out here in just a few minutes. Stay tuned to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, Snocross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com. DirtFish Rally School is the premier rally driving school on the West Coast, located in Snoqualmie, Washington. If you are looking for a ton of fun with world-class driving instructors honing your skills, DirtFish is the place for you. DirtFish has 315 acres of playground with mixed surfaces for your driving experience. You can spend anywhere from 2 hours to 3 intense days of instruction refining your driving and racing skills. Whether you are looking for credits towards your Rally America license, honing your racing skills, or just having a fun time, DirtFish is your school. Your classroom is behind wheel of a 300 horsepower rally-prepped Subaru STI. These cars have protective cages, suspension modifications, and are built for one purpose: to push you to your limit. By the end of your time at DirtFish, you will have the confidence to rally with the best. Whether you're looking for a thrilling first-time rally experience or to increase your knowledge and time in the driver's seat, DirtFish has a driving experience to suit your needs. For any information on their classes, corporate events, or their facility, check them out on the web at www.dirtfish.com or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at DirtFish Rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, schooled by DirtFish Rally School. Anywhere is possible with General Tire, and got to thank KMC Wheels for letting us roll on those beautiful KMC Wheels XD series here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. But right now, we are kicking off our DirtFish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. You can find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com. And a big part of the DirtFish Rally Report for this week, we made the announcement we are going to give away a coupon code for DirtFish Rally School. We're 10% off at dirtfish.com. So you're booking a 3-day class at 10%. We're talking big, big dollars that you're going to be saving. And that coupon code, as we roll into this DirtFish Rally Report, is all capitals. Make sure it's all in capitals when you book online. It is JBDF2015R. That's JBDF2015R. That's good for 10% off at dirtfish.com, courtesy of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. And big thanks to our friends at DirtFish for hooking you up with that. But right now, big Rally America preview. Don't forget, we will be holding down with coverage of the 100-acre wood, Rally America Radio, this weekend. They're in Missouri. I'm getting all my states mixed up. Been to so many recently, getting them all mixed up. But we will be at the 100-acre wood rally in Salem, Missouri. Definitely looking forward to this one. It's one of the marquee rallies on the Rally America calendar. And this one, it's one of the racers' favorites. Really, really scenic at the foothills of the Ozark Mountains. It's got some fast, really tight roads, a technical rally, but also some spots to stretch out your legs. Definitely looking forward to this one. I mean, it's one nobody wants to miss. Also, they're looking for some extra help, some volunteers. So if you're in the area, you want to go on out, you get the best spot to watch the rally at. And you can definitely help out. Go to 100aw.org. That's 100aw.org, and you can get all the information on how to volunteer and how to help out at this rally. Big news coming the end of last week. Ken Block slated to run this event with our good friend Alex Gelsomino. and they have elected to pull out of the rally. So Ken Block, he will not be running the 100-acre wood rally. Obviously, Ken, with so many wins at this event, and definitely disappointing to see him not running. I guess he's got the opportunity to go to New Zealand and race an event in the New Zealand Rally Championship. We all know New Zealand has some of the best rally roads in the world, so definitely going to be a fun time for Ken Block there in New Zealand. Definitely disappointing to see him pull out of 100-acre wood, a rally that he definitely knows well, and we're going to have to see that showdown with that 2015 of Subaru of David Higgins and Ken Block's Hoonigan Fiesta. We're going to have to wait till later in the year to see that, but Ken has made the announcement he will be running at least 2 more rounds of the Rally America National Championship, so looking forward to that. Drivers who will be in action, though, I got to tell you, this is a stacked entry list. Even with Block pulling out, this is a rally you don't want to miss. David Higgins, Craig Drew, obviously they are there fighting for that national championship. Adam Yeoman, he's going to be back. Sounds like they've got all their engine issues that we saw from Snowdrift. They've got those figured out. Another big name in the open class we're very excited to see, David Sterks. David, always fighting for always fighting for the front when he shows up. So great to see David Sterks. We got Nick Roberts in that super production car, his new super production car. Don't forget, debuting his new car here at 100 Acre Wood Rally, taking the win there. Actually, second place overall finish at Snowdrift in the old car. He's got a new car, so it's even going to be faster. He's debuting that at Rally America. 100 Acre Wood. Also, Lachlan O'Sullivan, another super production front runner. He's going to be in action. Peter Fatella in the open class. ACP Andrew Comrie Picard. He's making his 2015 debut at 100 Acre Wood in that Ford Fiesta ST. And ACP, always a chance at a podium, even in a two-wheel drive. Stoked to see ACP. He's going to be back in action at this one. And, your notables, all your regulars are there. Brenton Kelly, he said he's doing the first 2 and the last 2 rounds this year. He is back in action in that open class Subaru. Had a pretty solid run for Brenton in that FY Racing entry at Snowdrift. So, stoked to see him back as well. Other notables, going down this list, it's it's 61 drivers deep at this point. I'm sure we're going to see some more as we get closer. But you off-road fans, one of the notables I want to mention down here at the bottom of the entry list in a 2012 Ford Fiesta R2, Steve LaRosa. You know him from off-road. He raced the EcoBoost 7200, a champion, multi-time race winner. Steve LaRosa has sold the EcoBoost. He has decided to go rally racing, tied in with Ford with that EcoBoost program. He had the opportunity to go up to Team O'Neill's school. Loved rallying so much. He ran some events last year as a regional entry. I guess, from what I understand, I need to get a hold of Steve, see if we can get him on air for an interview. But I guess he sold the 7200. He's going rally full-time, from what I understand. But LaRosa will be at 100 Acre Wood in a Ford Fiesta R2. So very excited to see Steve LaRosa making the switch to rally. And we're going to see how that long-distance desert background comes into play. Obviously, Steve knows how to win races in the desert. We're going to see how it transfers to stage rally. So a notable Steve LaRosa, you definitely want to be on the lookout to see how things shake up with him. And I got to tell you, man, just a solid entry list of both national and regional entries. And from what I understand, temperatures very, very cold in Salem, Missouri at the moment. Had a little dusting of snow over the weekend. And don't forget, this is traditionally a gravel rally. But they're going to be running in the snow this year. I guess from what I understand, there's still some ice on the roads. Some of the people at Special Stage have been posting up some pictures on the website. But I guess roads still frozen over. Drivers should make for some interesting race conditions. I don't want to say this is going to be a snowdrift rally type of an event, but there is snow on the ground. There is a layer of ice on majority of the roads. So we'll see over the course of this week how that comes into play. But it's definitely shaping up to be an interesting 100 Acre Wood Rally, not like one we've traditionally seen. So with the entry list, the weather coming into play, I think this is definitely a rally you want to pay attention to. And don't forget, we will have full coverage, RallyAmericaRadio.com, throughout Friday and Saturday's events. We'll be doing a mix of both live and tape delayed airings. All depends on the internet coverage. Gotta say, we can't be live all the time. We'd love to. It's just the cards you're dealt in Rally with some of the remote stages and service parks. But we'll be bringing you coverage, RallyAmericaRadio.com. But this is going to be a great event, 100-acre wood rally happening this weekend, February 27th and 28th. And don't forget, if you're going, you want to volunteer, 100aw.org. All the information to volunteer is right there. They're looking for a few extra volunteers, but stacked entry list for the 100-acre wood rally. I'm looking forward to it. It's definitely game on this weekend in Rally America. As we close out this DirtFish Rally Report, I want to mention that coupon code one more time for 10% off a trip at DirtFish Rally School. Good for any trips, whether it be a half-day, 1-day, 2-day, 3-day advanced class. 10% off is good for them all. That code is JBDF 2015R. That's JBDF 2015R. All capitals. Go to dirtfish.com to use it up. I've posted it on Twitter, and I'll definitely post it one more time later on today. But that's it. All capitals, JBDF 2015R. That's good for 10% off at DirtFish Rally School. And this has been your DirtFish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com or follow him at DirtFish Rally on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So other big events happening this past weekend. Obviously, you guys know it was all about the UTV World Championship. And that brings us to our Polaris Razor's Edge UTV news. And it's all about the UTV World Championship, the Polaris UTV World Championship, going down this weekend in Laughlin, Nevada. And thanks to all of you, thousands and thousands of you tuned in on Friday to our broadcast, our Down and Dirty radio show powered by Polaris Razor broadcast from Contingency Day. Race day, we were supposed to do some live streaming audio of Scott Rain and myself. And as with anything, you're tied to the internet service. Internet service was shoddy at best out in the pit area and where we were doing announcing at. And so with that, I know some of you disappointed in the coverage. Hey, it is what it is. I know we've talked to our friends at Mad Media, UTV Underground, Best in the Desert. We're working on getting some satellite internet, satellite dish, and plans are for the Mint 400 to roll out the same type of deal, but we'll be doing it through satellite internet. So hopefully that gives us a lock-on signal and helps with keeping a consistent broadcast. Apologize to all of you who are looking Saturday for play-by-play coverage throughout the day. It is what it is. My apologies. We were tied to the internet. But it was a great event nonetheless, and I got to tell you, I've never seen that many UTVs in action. You know, it was just crazy. The first race of the day, the Desert Class. A lot of you familiar with these Desert Class racers. That was the 1900, the Unlimited, and the 2900s. And Desert Class winner ended up being Brandon Sims out of Prescott, Arizona, in the Polaris Razor, taking home a brand new Polaris Razor, beautiful billet trophy. And also a ton of cash and prizes. And Brandon Sims, factory Polaris Razor racer, taking his first ever win. Ton of podiums last year, his first ever desert win, and talk about a way to do it at the UTV World Championship. Second, the lady, Christina Perkins. I got to tell you, she was in a Polaris Razor as well. She pushed and pushed and pushed all day long. Super stoked for Christina Perkins. I mean, it was remarkable what she was able to accomplish, and I believe she did that in a 900, not even a 1,000. That was in a Razor 900. Let's let Christina loose in a 1,000, see what happens. She may be pushing for some wins, but stoked for Christina Perkins, making that happen in second overall. It's a solid finish for her. Paul Cooper, another Polaris Razor, he was third overall. Johnny Engel, he was fourth overall. He pushed for the lead early on, ended up having some problems on one of the last laps, dropped back a few spots. And then Brian Bush, fifth overall in a Polaris Razor as well. So top five all swept by Polaris Razor. Sixth went to sixth overall. First in the 2900 class went to Craig Hine. Seventh overall, sixth in 1900 class, Scott Kiger. R.J. Anderson also filling in that car as well. 7th overall, 8th in 1900 was Matt Burrows. 2nd in 2900, 9th overall, Lance Chernos. And 10th overall, 8th in 1900 was Jonathan McVeigh. Skipping down, Unlimited Pro, Steve Scott took the win in that in the 2900. Second in Unlimited Pro was Justin Brisbane. And then other notables, Corey Sappington down there in 16th position. I guess he's debuting a brand new Can-Am at the Mint 400. Looking forward to seeing that later on. But for the desert class, that rounds out your winners. I got to say, this is a pretty wild race, starting them 15 wide. Land rush start into the first corner. A little bit of carnage, but nothing major. Guys kept it under control, but the cool part about it was a dead engine start. So they had to fire the engine, then take off for the first corner. Definitely shook things up a bit. Can you imagine Supercross if they did that? Dead engine start, drop the gate, and the guys had to kick the bikes over? Man, it'd make things pretty wild, and that's exactly what happened here. So, great event for the desert class. Then moving on to the production class, and you think production class, you think slower. I got to tell you, these were actually faster at times with the way these cars are in the rules package. Not as radical as the desert cars, but the engines a lot of the time hopped up. These are the same cars you see run Lucas Oil Short Course and things like that, and Terracross. But Jacob Shaw taking home the win in a Polaris RZR and taking home that brand new Polaris RZR, cash prizes and everything else. Richie Latz finished up in second. Third went to Bo Barron, and Bo had the opportunity to have him on air on Friday from Contingency, and talk about a good dude, and he pushed from the back all day long. And the way they did this staggered start, 15 per row, and then it was 30 seconds back, another 15 started, and 30 seconds back of that, another 15 started. So if you're in row 3, you only started a minute back, but you had to pass, say, 30-some other cars if you got the whole shot. Made for a rough day, and that's what happened with Bo Barron. Definitely had a shot at a win, I think, if he would have started on the front row, but it is what it is. Everybody hoping for qualifying next year. Fourth place overall, Ray Bullock, Mickey Thomas. Fifth, Mitch Guthrie. Sixth, your King of the Hammers winner in the UTV class. I got to tell you, debuting that brand new Nelson & Nelson offset chassis single-seater. It was a wild car by Mitch Guthrie Jr., and that thing was on the pipe most of the day. Nick Templeton finished up in 7th. 8th went to Josh Frederick. Blake Vanderloo in 9th, and Brendan Tessa rounding out your top 10. First in the 850 production was James Walker. And let's see, any other winners in here? No, that looks like that is all of our winners. But great event overall. And I got to tell you, these production cars were pretty wild. Great seeing the short course guys, the desert guys, everybody kind of intermix and made for an amazing event in its first year. I know there was some hiccups. You fans tuning in at home, I'm sure you were definitely bummed with the live stream. I know there was, some of the people there in attendance. They had some nitpicky problems, but it's a first run event, over 200 entries. UTV World Championship. I mean, you really can't ask for much more. Year 2, I think everything's going to be a little more refined, dialed in, and I'm looking for great things out of this event. Also want to make mention, they had a Production 170 World Championship for the youth class, and Seth Quintero took home the win in the Production RZR 170 race. So 122 UTV entries in total at the Polaris RZR UTV World Championship. Lots of online coverage over there at utvunderground.com, and there's definitely going to be a TV package. Look for that. We'll give you the info. Destination Polaris here in the coming month. So, great event overall. I think it's one you definitely want to pencil in your calendars if you're in the Southwest to attend next season. As it was just a great draw, great opportunity for me to go out there, take it all in, and continuously, it rivaled the Parker 425 or the Mint 400, just packed, tons of vendors, tons of people, and just a cool event, cool atmosphere overall, right there in Laughlin. I think the course could use a little refinement, but all in all, I mean, just a knockout event. Congrats to UTV Underground, Joey D, the Martellis, Mad Media, Best in the Desert. Hit a home run for a first run event, and looking forward to year number 2 of that. Definitely going to be a great year number 2. I think this event's got a long future ahead of itself. So, that is your Polaris Razor's Edge UTV News, brought to you by our good friends at Polaris Razor for this week. And Polaris Razor's just dominating the event. Razors left and right, razors everywhere out there. If you're not in a Polaris Razor, you're racing from behind. I think that was the moral of the story. I think R.J. Anderson said it best. I believe it was RJ on air. I'm going to have to pull this soundbite and air it for you guys, but I think RJ goes, if you're not in a Polaris Razor, you have like 1 in 1,000 chance of winning this thing. So I think that we should leave it on that from RJ Anderson. He said it best. If you're not in a Polaris Razor, you got a 1 in 1,000 shot of winning a UTV race. So who's to argue with Mr. XP1K RJ Anderson? This is Jim Beaver. You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. We'll be back after this commercial break. Dani Medin calling in. We're talking Snocross. Amy Houde calling in. We're talking Supercross. And you got any questions for him? Hit me up at JimBeaver15 on Twitter. Looking forward to your questions. We'll ask them to Dani. We'll ask them to Miss Amy Houde. Any questions, shoot them my way at JimBeaver15. Love to get those questions asked on the air. We got a great hour number 2 on tap. And if you missed the Antoine L'Estage interview after we're off air, you definitely want to skip back, hit the archives up, because it was a great interview. Kind of behind the scenes and what happens with one of North America's top rally drivers. We'll be back after these quick commercial messages here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Looking to upgrade the brake system on your race car, pre-runner, or weekend toy? Jmar Performance Brake Systems has you covered. An industry leader in performance braking systems, Jmar can outfit your vehicle with the highest quality American-made calipers, rotors, master cylinders, hubs, turning brakes, and shifters for Volkswagens to trophy trucks and everything in between. For more information and their full product line, visit Jmar on the web at jmarperformance.com or follow them on Instagram and Twitter at Jmar Brakes. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
DirtFish Rally School is the premier rally driving school on the West Coast, located in Snoqualmie, Washington. If you are looking for a ton of fun with world-class driving instructors honing your skills, DirtFish is the place for you. DirtFish has 315 acres of playground with mixed surfaces for your driving experience. You can spend anywhere from 2 hours to 3 intense days of instruction refining your driving and racing skills. Whether you are looking for credits towards your Rally America license, honing your racing skills, or just having a fun time, DirtFish is your school. Your classroom is behind wheel of a 300 horsepower rally-prepped Subaru STI. These cars have protective cages, suspension modifications, and are built for one purpose: to push you to your limit. By the end of your time at DirtFish, you will have the confidence to rally with the best. Whether you're looking for a thrilling first-time rally experience or to increase your knowledge and time in the driver's seat, DirtFish has a driving experience to suit your needs. For any information on their classes, corporate events, or their facility, check them out on the web at www.dirtfish.com or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at DirtFish Rally. The #1 off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet now has its own app. The Down and Dirty Radio Show official app is now available in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, and Amazon Kindle Store. Just search Down and Dirty Radio Show, and you'll have all the latest news, results, and blockbuster interviews from off-road, rally, drifting, Supercross, and Snocross at your fingertips. Hours of interviews from the best drivers and athletes on Earth, such as Travis Pastrana, Ken Block, Tanner Faust, Brian Deegan, Robbie Gordon, and Jolene Van Vliet are yours at the touch of a button. Download today and never miss an interview again.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, schooled by DirtFish Rally School, and anywhere is possible with General Tire. And this week we are rolling on those KMC XD Series wheels. Been a great show so far, man. Antoine L'Estage, talk about a true rally champion, calling in 15-time rally champion to kick things off. Right now we're going to roll into some Snocross coverage with our good friend Dani Medin. She's going to be calling in just a second. And then later on we got Amy Houde. She's going to be calling in, and we're going to be talking some fantasy Supercross. And, got to thank KMC Wheels for putting that together with us and talking about just Supercross in general. I know Amy, she's running for Miss Mint, talking a little monster trucks. We're going to be all over the place today, but great show so far. And, man, that UTV World Championship, it was off the hook over the weekend. Big event there in Laughlin, Nevada. But Supercross, it was all Snocross, excuse me, it was all going down in Chicago. And, man, it was just a remarkable event there in Chicago. And you got to love the Amsoil Snocross series, and the fact that they do, they do the amazing live stream online. So you fans, you don't have to wait for the CBS Sports tape delay. You can watch right there online. And I was talking with a lot of guys out at the UTV World Championship, and live stream's where it's at, man. If you can't afford the TV, live stream, some of these productions are getting crazy. But King of the Hammers, Snocross, Formula Drift, even GRC to an extent is going to the live stream format. I know with desert racing it makes it pretty tough with the remoteness of everything, but Torque does a phenomenal job with the live stream, and I truly think that's where it's at as far as coverage goes. I know Formula Drift and Torque both pulling in 6-figure numbers for their live streams, and it's just truly is awesome the way the way these events can get out to such a global audience with the live stream. And I just know with Rally America Radio this last go around we had European listeners calling in or listening in. We had a lot of listeners from South America, Australia. And get this, one of the countries with the most tune-ins to Rally America Radio was Japan. Who would have figured, in Japan they had such a huge stage rally following? But I got to tell you, the Japanese tuned into our broadcast. I don't expect that to sustain itself, but the country of Japan well represented in our Rally America Radio audience. So I don't know what reason there is to that, but it is what it is, man. The demographics don't lie, and with anything on the internet, you can track it. So it was kind of cool to be able to see that and see the Japanese well represented. Who knew that Rally America had such a huge following of Japanese fans? I didn't know it. I would have never guessed. Canada, yep. Europe, yep. Mexico, yep. New Zealand, Australia. I would have guessed them all. Japan, never would have thought. My mind's been blown before, and it was definitely blown when we got those demographics back. But, we're right now waiting on Dani Medin. She's going to be calling in. We're going to talk about some Snocross and Chicago Route 66 Raceway there in Chicago, Illinois. Looked like an amazing track, and as with anything, Snocross, it's the same story just about every week, and I'm sure Dani Medin can tell us a little more of that. How's everything going, Dani?
Oh, it's going great. I just want to tell everybody that's listening, if I start hacking up a lung, I apologize.
Well,
it was a rough weekend. Like, I barely have a voice. I've been coughing like crazy. Chris was sick.
Well, I gotta say, was it a rough weekend because it was cold, or was it a rough weekend because it was self-induced?
No, it was not self-induced. For one. No, just it was really cold on Friday and windy, and we had a vendor tent that was set up, and it was supposed to be heated, and it wasn't.
Oh,
I literally sat by a heater for like 8 hours, I think, breathing in. Who knows what was coming out of that thing, but yeah, we're just a little beat up, but Saturday's weather was much better. So let's talk racing.
Yeah, let's talk some racing, right? Yeah, well, I got to tell you, Chicago, I was there just a few weeks ago, stuck in a snowstorm and flights delayed and everything else, and I know they got pounded with snow. So, I'm thinking they had plenty of snow for this round, right? They didn't have to bring in the snow machines too much?
I was told it was actually man-made, but there was some snow throughout the Chicago area between the airport and the racetrack, but I'm pretty sure it was man-made from what everybody said, because there was a pond that they were pulling water from what I was told. So, and it was really sugary. So I'm almost positive it was man-made. At least most of it.
All right. Well, first off, can you give us a lowdown on this track? Because I know it's, from what I understand, it's pretty something different, right?
It was. The track was actually like a Supercross style track. It was shaped like a boot. So if you can imagine a boot, the starting line kind of shot up the back. You had a left-hand turn that went over the finish line, followed by some really big rhythm sections where people were tripling on the front stretch and the back stretch on Friday. But by Saturday, I think because it was, like I said, that sugary snow, and it was warmer, the track really wasn't holding up, and it was a lot rougher. But you got through those huge rhythm sections, where people were tripling through two corners down in like the heel of the boot and the toe of the boot to say, and looped through. They had a couple line choices in the two corners at the finish line, the starting line part of the track. So it was really awesome. It was really fast. The track actually reminded me a lot of what Canterbury used to look like back when I was racing. So there was, these huge doubles and triples, and there was some crazy huge air.
Okay. Well, it's kind of cool. They kind of, some of the tracks kind of seem like they get cookie cutter and kind of cool. They're changing it up a bit. I mean, looking at the pro lights, we'll talk about Pro Open here in a little bit, but it's kind of the same old story. I want to talk. Yep. I want to talk about Pro Light because some names up there, in Ryan Springer that you don't see every day. Taking a win on Friday. I mean, kind of take us through the Pro Light, because to me that's where some of the best racing this year has been.
The points right now is very, very close between the top five. So really with 5 more rounds, I kept thinking it was 4, but Geneva's a 3-day. With a couple more rounds to go, I mean, it's really anybody's game. So if somebody gets hurt, that's really going to shape up the points. Ryan Springer had 4 wins in a row. He was not able to do 5 on Saturday, sadly, but we got a chance to interview him. He was pretty excited, and he had some great battles with his teammate Andrew. Carlson, so that team was looking great like usual. Travis Muller got his first podium this season. He actually took a podium, I do believe, when he was in the Warner Racing crew a couple of years ago. But Travis was back on top of the box on Saturday night, so that was great to see a new face up there. Trevor Layton looked great like usual. I don't know if anyone actually tuned into the live stream for Snocross or if they were there, but Elias Ischel, the Norwegian kid that runs for Warner's, he had a crazy, crazy, scary crash. I do not know how that kid was moving. I actually walked out of the hotel room when we checked out on Sunday, and he was rubbing his collarbone when they were I think it was his family sitting in the lobby. I mean, there's some crazy pictures if you guys go on to Snocross. I mean, he looked like a rag doll flying through the wind. That kid is aggressive, and I think this track, you know, you really had to be smooth and hit your marks, and it kind of kicked his butt. But the Pro Light, you know, there's a lot of good racing going on, and it's really anybody's game. Those positions on the box could be really anybody's. But you see your normal faces up there, the Springer, the Carlson, Trevor Layton, Travis Muller. So it was awesome racing.
Yeah, well, and let's talk about Ischel, real quick, because this is a kid, to be honest with you, coming in this season, I really hadn't heard of him before. I mean, to be honest with you, I maybe the name once or twice, but I mean, but this year, I mean, he's made a name for himself. I mean, this kid is a gamer.
Well, back in my day, I actually bought a couple Warner racing sleds, and they were pretty good to me when I was racing. And my dad always joked. He always kind of said, you know, Warner does a really good job of going overseas to Sweden and Norway, even into Canada, to find these people that nobody's heard of. And when Elias, and I hope I'm saying his name right, I've heard it pronounced so many different ways. And I actually did not get a chance to talk to him because he's working on his English, and it's gotten a lot better. But I'm a fast talker too, so I think for us to interview him for Race 1 online, it's just I have to ask too much really to get a lot, so we haven't interviewed him yet. Where was I going with that? So Warner's is, you know, really about going over to Norway and Sweden. And when I was watching some of the videos, I do believe that you are not by law allowed to snowmobile in Norway, so he trains in Sweden. I could be wrong, but I remember hearing that in one of the videos, and I went, can you imagine, like, not even being able to train in your own town, your own country, your own state, and then to be at the level that he's at? You know, but that kid is aggressive. You know, he throws on lap times that are right up there with the Pro Open class. He rides like he's on a mod sled. As long as he stays healthy, I mean, he's lucky to be walking away from that crash he had. I mean, everybody in the stands was like, oh my gosh. Like, it was a crazy off, and I do not know how he got up and kept riding those last couple laps of that race and then finished the weekend.
Yeah, it was. I've seen it. I haven't seen the video of it. I've seen a couple of pictures, you know, pretty much of him in the air, and it's scary.
That doesn't even do it justice.
Yeah.
I even looked at the pictures. I'm like, that. I mean, he was. I don't even want to know how many feet, you know, flying over this triple, and I mean, the sled was going one way. He was just literally upside down and sideways.
One of those career enders that he got real lucky with, right?
Oh my gosh, and then Darren Neese had he had a pretty big off too on the front stretch after the finish line. There was a huge triple, and because that sugary snow wasn't holding up on the landing, he kind of like hit between the two jumps, and that sled almost took out a flag guy. So that was a pretty scary one, but everybody walked away. He got up. But there was a couple of people. Justin Broberg got a little beat up this weekend too. You know, he went down a couple times. So the Hensch's crew is beat up. I must say that as their PR girl. But Cody's expected to return. I was sitting with him in the stands both nights, and you can see the frustration of, you know, him having to be an onlooker. So he's ready to come back. That team's just working on some stuff with Justin's sled. They had some clutch issues from what I was told. Other teams, the Skidoo people, I heard from a couple teams, they were blowing belts, that they got a bad batch of belts, I heard. Because there were 4 mod sleds that went down in one race in Pro Open qualifying. It's like every time you looked around, someone was sitting there. So that track was punishing to people and to equipment.
Yeah, well, and I got to ask you, I think we had this conversation on air, and I know I had it with Levi LaValle when I was up at his place a month or so back. But Polaris, they've kind of rested on their laurels with the Polaris sleds, and it's kind of been the same thing. And like Levi said, we've developed this thing. We know how to do it in our sleep. Polaris making the big announcement, they've got these new sleds coming. You guys being a Polaris team, is everybody pretty excited about that?
I haven't really heard much. For me, being, a past racer and involved in snowcross and snowmobile racing for almost 15 years, I swear that's been the same sled that they have had since I started. So if a new one comes out, I'm excited for that because, it's been the same sled for years. So I have not honestly heard. You're the first one to tell me.
Oh,
so
yeah. No, Levi Levi posted
coming.
up some pictures on his social media, and it may have been over the weekend. I don't know. And I haven't read too much into it. I just know there is a new sled coming. I don't know when. Obviously, we're not going to see it this year in Snocross, but I think for next year it'll give the teams at least a good 6-8 months to develop the thing.
Well, I think for Polaris, it's been a long time coming. And obviously they've had success in racing. We don't need to discuss that, but it's a long time coming. So that'd be good for them to come up with something new, because Skidoo and Cat, they keep coming up with new sleds and, every couple of years at least. So that will be something to watch and look forward to.
Yeah. Well, talking about, Pro Open, obviously Tucker, he's just a machine, another dual win weekend. It's not even surprising at this point when he does it. But some of the others, Kyle Pauline, he's got a couple of podiums. He's doing pretty solid this year.
Yeah, Kyle's been rocking it. He took 2 third-place finishes this weekend. He had a great battle with Ross Martin on Friday. Right to the finish line. That corner before the finish line was, people were not able to really pass through the jumps. You were either smooth like Tucker, and you were so checked out, or you were struggling trying to triple, coming up short, bumping into the face of the next one. So, the guys that were smooth with, I think, definitely a strong motocross background and Supercross, they shine this weekend. And I interviewed Tim Tremblay through the Warner crew, and I said, this is called Tim's track. On Friday, he went 1-1 in qualifying, along with Tucker, who went 1-1. But Tucker had the fastest lap. So Tucker was number 1 qualifier and Tim was number 2, and that's how they finished. Tucker first, Tim second, Kyle third. Logan Christian, oh my Lord, I was so excited. I finally got to talk to him. He podiumed again this weekend. Yep. On Saturday he took second. He had a great battle with Tucker for a good chunk of that race. So that was really cool to see somebody new up there. Ross Martin grenaded a clutch in his sled on Saturday. I was told there were pieces of the clutch so far into those side panels they were going to have to, probably redo that whole sled from the inside out. So there, like I said, Polaris, from what I was hearing, there was some clutch issues, belt issues. Not just Polaris, but I think every manufacturer. And it was a pounding track when it got warmer out. It really changed lap by lap.
Yeah. Well, looking forward, we've got, I guess, 3 events. I don't want to say 3 rounds left, but we've got Michigan, Wisconsin, and then the showdown at sundown, as they're calling it. But, what do you think you expect out of the next 3 events?
Well, I haven't been to the Michigan race because when I was announcing for Snocross, we were at Desner. So I have not been to Mount Pleasant yet. Excuse me. I have not been there, so I don't really know what to expect. But obviously Tucker, he went with 103 and 104 this weekend. So I'm wondering how many more he's going to be able to pull off. But I think we all know he's going to be pushing 110 by the end of this season. You're really seeing the Kyle Pauline, Tucker Hibbert, and then there's usually one person kind of mixed in there. So I think we're going to kind of keep seeing our reoccurring people because, as long as people are staying healthy. But Geneva, that's everyone's favorite round. Everyone comes in there super excited to be there. The track's the longest one on the series. Your Tucker Hibbert's going to shine. And, look at Cody. When he won his Pro Light championship and his Pro Open debut in one day, that's Cody's track too. So I'm excited for him to get back. because he's really one that can play with Tucker. So we've been missing him.
Yeah, for sure. So what's on tap for Dani Medin? Obviously, Race One Online, you're working with them. I know you guys are posting some great stuff, going to be posting some great stuff from the race this weekend. What's on tap for you this year? Obviously, Torque coming up, lots of stuff to get excited over.
Well, speaking of Torque, Chad Houde had his new Pro 4 on display. We were kind of joking. I'm like, Chad, you got here a little early because Torque doesn't come to Joliet until June. But when he fired that truck up outside the vendor tent, people seriously turned, and I mean everybody bolted to see what that was. That's not a snowmobile. What is that? That was cool that Chad Houde had his Cat Amsoil Pro 4 on display. And obviously that is Chris Houde, who is the founder of Race One, their brother. So that was kind of cool to kind of have that there.
Yeah. And
I have to say, who all is listening, if you are not a fan of Race One, please support us. We're almost at 20,000 fans and followers on Facebook, and we're slowly growing, but we need people to help us because we're still looking for sponsors. So get onto Instagram, @Race One Online, and also Never Looked Apparel is our kind of new clothing company that's helping support us as we grow this media company. So get on there. You're all on social media. Give us a follow. We really appreciate it. But yeah, and then I don't know if anyone has seen, I am the new pit reporter for AMA Pro Racing Flat Track. So I'm going to be heading to Daytona here in a couple weeks. So I can't be more excited. This is a whole new thing for me. I obviously have my motorcycle license, for those of you who kind of ask my credibility about motorcycles, but this is a whole new series. I've honestly never been to a flat track. I've watched it on the live stream. So I'm excited to learn and meet new fans and meet all these new racers and really grow with AMA. Yeah. Pro racing in the flat track series.
I think that should be cool, and I know they're bringing it into the X Games this year, I believe, as well. So, flat track definitely on the upswing. Sounds like you got a pretty good deal there, jumping into a series that's growing like that.
Well, and the good thing is it's not going to interfere with us Amsoil girls at Supercross. Indy Supercross is the only round that conflicts with flat track, so I won't be going to Indy for Supercross. I'll be going to Daytona for flat track, but otherwise, basically Supercross is going to end, and then I'll be able to go full on with the flat track series, and we travel to some really cool places, and I'm just so excited. I mean, this is some fast racing. I mean, it's going to be so cool to just be a part of this as it grows.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool. I'm already thinking, well, I guess we need to start covering flat track here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show and have Dani Medin reporting in for us, right?
There we go. Yeah, I'll make sure. I bet AMA would be okay with that, but I'll run it by them. But yeah, and then there's that Red Bull snowmobile event.
Yeah,
that's coming the end of March. So and I don't know much about it. I just saw the little post that Levi Lavallee posted. So it sounds like it's open up to not just pros, but your average person, if I'm correct.
Yeah, one of the founders of the event is Joe Duncan with Terracross, who you may know because he was one of the original guys behind the Snocross series. And Joe,
I've known Joe for years.
Yeah, so Joe's involved with that. Him and Levi, and obviously I think Red Bull and I think Polaris is involved to an extent as well. But he was telling me about it over the weekend at the UTV World Championship, and he is amped for it. I think. I really don't think anybody knows what the heck's going to happen because they're bringing in all these riders from all these different walks of life. And, and it's a mix of all things snowmobile. I mean, cross country, snowcross. I just don't think they know what to expect. But, if Red Bull's involved, it's going to be epic.
Well, I was kind of like, can I get out there somehow? If it's open up your average person, I mean, I probably wouldn't do very good, but it'd still be fun to go play because it sounded like it was cross country, go cross, snowcross, and I don't know, drag racing or something.
Yeah, it's
something.
It's just a crazy mix of everything, and I think it'll be cool. I mean, it's I think whoever's going to win it isn't going to be one of these names you see. I'm hoping that the Tucker Hibberts and those types come out and run it anyways. But I'm expecting a winner that may be somebody off the beaten path that we don't hear about too often.
Well, you think that would kind of possibly open the door to your mountain riders, your backcountry riders. And your extreme trail riders, I mean, because a lot of, your average people can really hang on a snowmobile. So I'm kind of hoping that I might be able to go up there for that because I think it'd be super cool. But, Red Bull has their own media. So for somebody like Race One, and our crew, it's hard to get there. And, you know, Red Bull does such a great job on their media side of it. It's not really worth it for us to go.
Yeah.
But I think as a fan and a spectator and a reporter, I would love to go check it out. So maybe I'll have enough Delta Sky Miles to take a free trip home.
Nice.
To check that out.
Well, as always, I appreciate you calling in, Dani, and we'll definitely have to keep me in the loop on Flat Track and everything you got going, and definitely, we'll put the word out to support Race One Online.
Awesome. Yes, if you fans are still listening, please get on. Give me a follow on Instagram. Give Race One a follow and Never Lift Apparel. We got a lot of good, cool new clothes coming out for all of you, so thanks for listening.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dani.
Yep.
All right. That was Dani Medin with Race One Online, also going to be your new AMA pit reporter for Flat Track Racing. And tell you what, the girl is, she's on point, man. She goes and travels with Snocross, does some Supercross with AMSOIL, obviously with Torque, with Race One Online. She's kind of all over the place, and stoked for her in this big announcement with AMA and the new pit reporter for Flat Track. Who knows? Maybe, X Games is picking up Flat Track. Obviously, it's on the upswing. I don't know. Flat Track's been around forever. Maybe it's getting its legs. And it's going to start growing here in the U.S. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think of it. I mean, those guys are legit riders. It's crazy. We'll definitely have to see. We got to take a short break, though. We're way overdue for a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. We'll be back after this short message.
Looking to have some screen printing, embroidery, or design work done? Intense Tees has you covered. Intense Tees provides the highest quality and detail for custom screen printing and embroidery services for corporations, schools, race teams, and all organizations alike. Complete line creation, including designing of an entire corporate identity, product line creation, support promotions, product packaging, exciting banners, polos, tees, sweatshirts, caps, and vinyl decals. Intense Tees is the official apparel provider for the Down and Dirty Off-Road Show. Find out more on the web at www.intensetees.com. That's www.intensetees.com.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Did you know that Parker Motor Company is one of the best places to shop for new tires for your car or truck? With a full tire shop and advanced equipment, we can outfit your vehicle with over 13 brands of tires, including Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Yokohama, Falcon, and General. We offer a low price guarantee that will meet or beat any competitor's price. We'll check your alignment for free, and we also offer tire care for any road hazards you may come across. If you need new tires, Parker Motor Company is your only choice. Parker Motor Company, your hometown Ford and Lincoln dealer.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XD Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XD Series wheels at kmcwheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, lit up by Rigid Industries, schooled by DirtFish Rally School, anywhere as possible with General Tire, and rolling on those KMC Wheels XD Series. I am Jim Beaver, and man, just got done with Dani Medin talking some Snocross. Stoked to have her calling in. Sounds like she's going to be doing some AMA flat tracking, so pretty cool. Congrats goes out to her, and definitely Race One Online. Give those boys a follow on social media, posting up some great videos. Snocross, Torque Off-Road, you name it, they're there. Chris and Danny doing a great job, with Race One Online, and got to support them and help them grow. And, man, Antoine L'Estage kicking off the show with him. We've talked some Polaris Razors and the UTV World Championship, DirtFish Rally Report, some Rally America preview. Now it is Supercross time, and my girl Amy Houde, she's going to be calling in here in just a few minutes, and we're going to talk some Supercross and find out what went down over the weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. And I got to tell you, man, talking about shaking things up in both the 250s and the 450s. But don't forget, we have that KMC Wheels Fantasy Supercross going on right now, fantasyactionsportsleague.com. Big shout out to our friends at KMC Wheels for getting that going on. Over 300 of you involved in that. We're giving out the big set. The big prize is a grand prize, a set of KMC Wheels to the winner of that. Looks like we got Amy calling in. How's everything going, Amy?
Hey, how's it going?
It is going good. I got to say, you have had a heck of a week. We had you on last week, and obviously we had Kyle Partridge. Great time with him. But you, Miss Mint, you're killing it there. You went to some monster trucks. Been a fun week for you.
Yeah, it was super fun. You know what? I've never seen a live monster truck show ever before. And two of my friends, former motocross chicks, Cynthia and Bree, both drive the monster trucks in Monster Jam. Bree drives the Scooby-Doo truck, and Cynthia, who's also Canadian and from Quebec, she drives Monster Mutt. So I took my little friend McGuire down. I don't know if you guys follow my Instagram, but my little buddy, he's 9 years old and just got diagnosed with a rare type of cancer. So I'm trying to do everything I can to, help him out and make sure he has lots of fun. And we took him to monster trucks, and it was awesome. So I had a blast, and it was really cool to see. There's tons of girls. There's 3 female drivers, and I think only 4 or 5 male. So it's really cool that there's a ton of girls who do this sport. But I had a blast. And yes, I applied for the Misfit 400 contest. I thought it'd be something new, something different. I love a competition, whether it's on the track or, through social media or at events. And I just thought it'd be really cool to have someone in a different sport enter and, just Moto Chicks rock. So, you guys go on my Instagram, click the link in my bio, and just like my page, and hopefully I have a shot to head to Vegas in a couple weeks here. So, exciting.
Yeah, I gotta say, I was on there, and it looks like you're killing it. I think over 1,000 social media shares to your profile already. So your fans coming out in force, that's for sure. So that's definitely what you need to make your way to Vegas.
No, honestly, I couldn't be more happy for the support that I have. It's crazy. It's just through social media, and it's mostly complete strangers who've just followed my journey. So I know I can't thank all of them enough. And I need your votes, so keep at it.
Yeah, for sure. So let's skip over and let's talk some Supercross. Round 8 of Supercross, I believe round 2 of the 250 East. Definitely both 250s and 450s shakeups with the winners. Didn't see either one of them coming, to be honest with you.
Honestly, this weekend was awesome. Some super great racing, but it probably killed a lot of people's fantasy league scores again. But you know what? I have to hand it to Reed. Sometimes, he seems to piss a lot of people off, but he pulls it all together, and man, he had a race of a lifetime basically, and I think we can start seeing things turn around for him. And I was reading some of the interviews that he had, and this might be his year. I mean, he's down, I think, in fifth, or I think he's in fifth right now for points, fifth or sixth, but he's still in the with 110 points right now. 75 points behind the leader, but I wouldn't doubt if he can, fight for a top 3 position in overall. And he's doing great, and I think he has a couple more podium first places, in his bag of tricks there. So can't believe it. Whole shot and check out. He led the whole moto. Like, that's amazing. They say this is a young man's sport, but these old guys got to give it to them.
Yeah, and Reed, I think, he surprised a lot of people last year, and they went down with an injury, and, he was, I think people had him pegged to possibly take the whole thing, but, Reed, he's one of those, he gets a fire lit under his ass, and you better look out, and, to lead 20 laps after the whole shot, I think that fire may be lit, and I think it's a warning shot to everybody else. We're about halfway through, and he could make a run at that thing.
Yeah, that probably did a ton for his confidence, and confidence is key. Not only, does he knows what he's doing. He's done this for so many years. He has so many years on all these other guys. We like to say that, the 450s class, there is a lot of rookies this year, but, it's usually the rookies that make a lot of mistakes. Like Chad knows what he's doing. He knows how to, save himself from a mistake that can cost him huge points. And now I just think he, like you said, lit that fire and kind of opened the door for a really consistent, strong finish to the season. And that's what he needs. Now is crunch time. Now it comes down to consistency. And, a vet has that in him. He knows how to pull it together at the end, where a lot of these guys kind of throw it all on the line. Look at Ken Rocks and then throw it away. So, Chad, I think he has what it takes to finish strong. So.
Yeah, and I gotta say, obviously Dungey in second. He's Mr. Consistent. He's doing what he has to do to take home a championship. But the one guy I want to talk about that he's slowly having a very good season is Weston Pike. That guy, we haven't, he's right in there, another top 5. I mean, the guy is having a solid season.
Yeah, no, Weston's awesome. He's such a gnarly dude. Like, he's super cool, really nice to talk to in the pits. Like, just an all around nice guy. To see him succeed this year and getting better every round. And he was battling, in those heat qualifiers and the semis. He was battling with the top fastest guys. Like, people can't cancel him out. And I would love to see Weston win one of these races. The last couple rounds here. I think it would be really, really good for him going into outdoors. So,
yeah.
But I do think he is a strong outdoor rider too. So I can't wait to see what he has, come outdoor season.
Yeah, and Kennard, another one. I mean, another podium. Obviously he's had some wins earlier in the year, but Kennard, I mean, he's playing the consistent thing too. He's consistently right up there at the top.
Well, with Roxon and Tomac's poor finish, I think Roxon finished 18th and Tomac 20th. That put Kennard up in second place for the point standings right now. So, if Dungey can have one bad race, and Kennard's always been Mr. Consistent. I mean, other than having terrible crashes that leave him out for the rest of the year, now this year is his year to finish the season, and he's always right there. So I can see Kennard and Dungey battling for that first place position coming here now into home stretch. So, we've got a lot to see from him still too. So he's only 25 points behind Dungey. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at 250s. Jeremy Martin taking the win. Marvin Muskeen finished up in second. His qualifying was horrible, 15th, best qualifier, and still managing second. I mean, that's a solid effort from Marvin coming from the back, basically.
I know. Marvin had a little bit of a tough weekend, but if you watched his riding, he was so aggressive coming into, having to make his way through the pack. Those guys didn't stand a chance. He just blew by them, used them as a berm. He was the only one launching that speed jump like as far down the straightaway as possible. He is just such a talented rider, and he has the confidence. He knows that he is, top three riders out there, and he uses that for his advantage. And even though he had a mistake at the start and had to work his way, that didn't stop him. He knew where he was going to finish, and it came down to that last lap. All 3-4 of those guys battling like it was anybody's race. It was so awesome to see. But the unique thing about the 250 East Coast is, again, all these riders are so close. We have a different person finishing on the podium every weekend, so that's what keeps it really fresh and interesting. And I don't even know what next weekend is going to hold, but if you just watched Marvin, he is the fastest guy out on the track. He is so talented. So he's definitely the most consistent, other than his crash. But
yeah. But I think Marvin, I mean, he's been around the block a time or two. He's one of the guys, it's one of those you look at, and I don't know what his contract, status looks like, but I could see him very soon moving up to the 450 class.
Yeah, it was so cute. My family loves Marvin. He is just such a nice guy. His podium interviews are always hilarious, and he's just lovable. You can't not love him. It was funny because he actually did mention, he's like, I know I should be at 450s, but I like the 250. I really want to race the 250 and get a championship. So, he knows that he's been in that class for quite a while, but he doesn't want to move up until he claims the championship. And this is his year. I know it is. So, but next year, Marvin wins this year, he'll definitely be in 450s. He's a bit of a skinnier, smaller guy, so I don't know how he'll be able to handle the 450. Maybe he'll struggle a little bit. It took him a while to put it all together in 250s, so I hope he has a good season, and I hope he stays healthy for sure.
Well, and you got to appreciate a guy that doesn't want to move up until he's been at the top. There's a lot of guys that never win that 250 championship and immediately, I'm going to go run 450s. And Marvin, you got to admire the fact that he won't do it until he actually claims a championship.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And look at Martin Davalos. He's raced 250 forever and still hasn't won a championship. I don't even know. Maybe he'll have better luck in 450s. Maybe the 250 is holding him back. I would really like to see Davalos race a 450 next year. So, maybe he needs more time training on the 450, and he should just commit to that one class next year.
Yeah. Well, and a name I want to throw out there at you that you mentioned last week is one to watch, another top 5, Joey Savacci. He's another top 5. I know, it's another solid effort by him. He's just kind of there, qualified second, finished top 5. Another guy to look out for is, this 250 East, kind of hits its stride.
Pardon me?
I said just another guy to watch is the 250 East hits its stride.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. Joey won, one of the LCQs coming in strong, and he made that, I think it was almost a last lap pass or something, but his pass was just, so clean. Again, it's like he knew that he was going to win that race, and he didn't hesitate. I'm actually extremely surprised on Joey's riding this year. He's just, he knows his place coming off an injury. He's been plagued with injuries, just like some of these other guys, but it's how they're able to bounce back that really shows what level they're on, and it didn't do nothing for his confidence. He's been killing it. So I'd like to see Joey take a win again this year as well. So
yeah, for sure. So what's on tap for Amy Houde? What do you got coming up in your life? Obviously, Miss Mint, pushing there, and hopefully we see you in Vegas. Anything else? I know you said you're going to be at Las Vegas round of Supercross.
Yep. Well, it is my birthday next week, and I'm treating myself to a trip to Daytona Supercross, but I'll also be working for Motorcycle Superstore, of course, filming another adventure with 2 of my local moto chicks. We're all going to go down and have some fun and, hang out with all the riders and make a really cool video. We have something awesome planned. But yeah, no, Daytona is one of my favorite rounds. I love it that it's outdoors. It's kind of a little mix of outdoor style of track. Like, the track's always really cool. Hopefully it doesn't rain. I got caught in one of the outdoor rain rounds. Terrible. But no, Daytona's fun. It's bike week. There's Endurocross. It's just a fun week. There's tons of stuff to do. So, I mean, if you guys are there, hit me up. Let me know where you're at. Come hang out. Come adventure with us. And, yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, Daytona always a cool event just because the length of the course. I mean, you know, it seems like it's double the length of any Supercross course. And, you got these 450 guys having to do 20 laps. And you start seeing guys after lap 15 literally just fall on their face and times just drop. It's definitely one of those. It's all about endurance at Daytona.
Yeah, Daytona's insane. I love the track layouts every year. They're always really, really cool. And, the Ricky Carmichael amateur race that's after is actually really fun to watch as well. I know one of our local guys here, Ryder McNabb, will be racing the 65 class, so hopefully I get the chance to cheer him on. But he's a good little buddy of mine, so yeah, it should be fun. I love Daytona, and I just want to go rent a surfboard and go in the ocean and get away from the cold.
Yeah, I got to say, you guys have had one heck of a winter this year, and I guess the only thing saving you is you get to make these trips down south, right?
Yes, thank goodness, and just thinking of racing next year coming up soon here. But what's nice about this year, other than it's been extremely cold, is we don't have a lot of snow. But like I said before, the less snow, the earlier we have to ride, because usually all the tracks are wet for, almost 2 months after all the snow is gone. So it's impossible to race here on the prairies. I mean, the water just sits there. So it's nice that we don't have that much snow this year. It sucks for snowmobiling, but it's good for motocross. Yeah,
for sure. And, it's cold enough you still get to do your ice riding, right?
It was too cold to ice race this weekend. The tractor that cleans the track died because it's so damn cold. Like, that has to, tell you what it's like over here.
Jeez, yeah. If it's too cold to go ice riding, it's just damn cold.
Yeah, but apparently, this is the thing. It's supposed to be -6 today, but then with the wind chill, -32. So what the heck is that all about? Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty silly. So I'm sure you're going to have some fun in Daytona, and looking forward to hearing about your adventures down there. I guess early happy birthday to you, and looking forward to catching up with you next week.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me again. And guys, please, only a couple more days to vote for the Miss Mint 400. I would love to, represent the sport and just, throw a little different twist on it about showing one for the moto chicks out there. So head over to my Instagram. There's a link in my bio, or go to www.themint400.com. Click the 2015 contestants and choose me, and just click like. And that's all. It's really simple. It'll take 2 seconds out of your day. So I'll love you for it.
All right. Well, thanks, Amy, and we'll definitely talk to you soon, my friend.
All righty. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
My fellow Canadians.
All right. Thanks, Amy. All right. That was Amy Houde. Gosh, what do you say? Jack of all trades, or Jill of all trades, I guess. Races motocross, does some ice racing. We're working on some projects with her for possibly some UTV racing this year, and running for Miss Mint. She's at Daytona, covering, doing videos for Motorcycle Superstore and some pit reporting. The girl's just all over, and lucky to have her on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, calling in every week and giving us her Supercross report and her report on just about all things Amy Houde. Let's put it that way. But she's become a very good friend of mine, and stoked to have her part of the Down and Dirty Radio Show family. And definitely Miss Mint. Go to themint400.com and slap your vote down for Amy Houde. Help get her into those finals, and and you off-road familia, you get a chance to meet her down there on Fremont Street if we get her in. But I think she'd be a great ambassador for the sport of off-road and all things dirt. And give her a shout at the Mint 400, and give her a follow on social media at AmyHood71. So that was Supercross. Give you the quick rundown. I know we talked about the results, but didn't get really into it. Jeremy Martin, Marvin Muskeen, Justin Bogle, Martin Davalos, Joey Savacci, Vince Fries, Matthew Lemon, Anthony Rodriguez, R.J. Hampshire, and Arnold Tonis finishing out your 250 results. 450 results, it was all Chad Reed, CR22, leading 20 laps with the whole shot, taking the win. Dungy in second, Kennard third, Seeley, Weston Pike, Brock Tickle, Jason Anderson, Blake Baggett, Andrew Short, Josh Grant, rounding out your top 10. Some notables down there, Kenny Roxon in 18th, Tomac in 20th, definitely going to hurt their shot at a points title. Speaking of points, 250 East, we're 2 rounds deep in this one. Marvin is out front, Jeremy Martin in second, 4 points back, Bogle in third with 42 points, Savacci in fourth, and then we've got a 3-way tie for fifth between Davalos, Lemon, and Fries. Looking at our 450-point standings, it gets a little more interesting as we're 8 rounds deep here. Dungy, 174 points. A little bit of a check out on the field. We got Kennard in second, 149. 143 goes down to Kenny Roxon. Tomac in fourth, 115. And then we got Anderson, 114, 111 for Seeley. Chad Reed with 110 points. But I got to tell you, all that can change. We've got we've got a lot of racing left. I'm looking 6, 7, 8, 9 rounds of racing left. I mean, it's anybody's game at this point. That difference of 65 points. I mean, 25 points for a win. Dungy gets 1 or 2 bad positions, and bam, immediately somebody like Reed, Seeley, Anderson, or even Tomac can jump right in there, and Kennard and Roxon, they're right there chipping at the heels if Dungy makes a mistake. So Supercross, this is what you like. You like points battles. The days of Ryan Villapoto checking out on the field are definitely over. It's a great year. It's a great time to be a Supercross fan. That's for sure. Daytona coming up, one of the longest races of the year, and definitely looking forward to that one. Some quick notes is we got about 10 minutes left. Got a press release as we are on air, and Tanner Faust making a big announcement. Obviously, he's back with Andretti Volkswagen for this year. That announcement coming last week, a couple weeks ago. I can't remember, but Tanner Faust and Scott Speed back with Andretti Volkswagen for the Global Rallycross season. But Tanner Faust also announcing he's going to be running some World Rallycross events. Huge. But then 2 blockbuster announcements we didn't see coming. He's going to be running a Pro 2 in Lucas Oil. I got to think it's going to be Rob McCacken's backup truck like he did last year, which is epic. Great truck for Tanner to be stepping into. Ties in the Rockstar branding. So you got to think that Tanner is going to be back with Rob Mack in Pro 2. He did say he will be racing Pro 2 in Lucas some of the rounds. That's huge. But the even bigger blockbuster nobody saw coming, Tanner Faust going back to Formula Drift, going back to one of the places he's rooted in, Stage Rally, Rally America, Formula Drift, kind of his roots. Tanner, one of the winningest drivers ever in Formula Drift history. He's going back in a 900 horsepower Volkswagen. And I got to tell you, the Formula Drift field, he's only running 3 events, but, the warning shot has been fired. Tanner can step into one of these cars and walk away with a win at any given time. We know him. He's been very successful at Gymkhana Grid, very successful at Stage Rally, at Rallycross, going back to Formula Drift. It's going to be huge. Sounds like the events he's going to run, I know he's going to be at Streets of Long Beach. He's going to be at Irwindale, the finale, and then one of the rounds in between. I can't remember where it's at. I know it's an East Coast round. Losing it off the top of my head. Maybe Georgia. I can't remember, and I apologize for that. But Tanner Faust going back to Formula Drift, 3 rounds. That is huge. And then off-road, Lucas Oil Short Course. I mean, who is this guy? Tanner pulling Lucas, GRC, WRX, Formula Drift, and he's hosting Top Gear Steel. Tanner, it's a Tanner Faust takeover in 2015. You got to think this guy, when's he going to stop? I don't know. It doesn't look like anytime soon. That's for certain. But Tanner Faust, big blockbuster announcements coming out today, and you got to love it. Tanner Faust making things happen. Just and one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. I got to give him credit. I mean, Tanner is Tanner, and you talk about guys in the paddock. And he's just a great guy. I don't know anybody that doesn't like Tanner Faust, and obviously the ladies love him. But it's big news for Tanner Faust. And then Battle at Primm. I haven't got the final results yet, but that going down over the weekend. We're gonna have to cover Battle at Primm. I guess next week on air. Snore a little late. Getting the results up. I know as we went to air, they weren't up. They may be up now, but they weren't when we went to air. But Snore, big news, Johnny Greaves, we knew he bought a trophy truck. I actually talked with Johnny back in early January. He had bought a trophy truck. He was going to run the Parker 425, missed that event. He was doing some testing with it. So he missed out on that event, but he goes to the Battle at Primm, which is one of Snore's biggest races of the year. Enters it in trophy truck there, and he ends up. I guess the big thing is he ends up taking the pole in qualifying. Now, I don't know official results yet on how Johnny did, but he took the pole in qualifying. So always huge for Johnny Greaves. To do that. He's raced Class 1 in the past. Had a lot of success in Class 1 in desert racing. Johnny just a heck of a wheelman, but taking the pole there at the Battle at Primm. And always good stuff coming out of the Greaves camp with that trophy truck. But the Class 1 car, I mean, Johnny always solid, always fierce competitor when he does that. So, I'm wondering what the future holds for him in trophy truck. Stoked to have him there. Just a great competitor. It's big news for the sport of desert racing. They have Johnny even on a part-time basis running. Short course is his bread and butter though. They're going to be back in the Torque series. Johnny, new Pro 4. CJ, he's going to be running Pro 4 and Pro 2, I believe. Just a great family and doing great things. And these guys just. Championship after championship. I guess for me the big thing is now that there's a trophy truck in the Greaves family, I want to see CJ behind the wheel of that. Obviously, we know Johnny can wheel it. I want to see CJ try his hand at desert racing. See how things transfer over from his short course background. But another young gun behind the wheel of a trophy truck, always a good thing. The Greaves family, great people, and we definitely need to get both Johnny and CJ on air at some point very, very soon. Coming up, though, lots and lots of events. Supercross, obviously, we got the Mint 400 on tap. That thing's growing to be just a huge event. We got more Snocross, and don't forget Rally America 100 Acre Wood Rally. That is coming up this weekend. I will be at the 100 Acre Wood Rally in Salem, Missouri, and we'll be airing live from there, live and recorded at times, depending on internet service. But we'll have all the interviews with the drivers, updates, and hopefully do some play-by-play at some of the super specials if we can. So that all coming up, and man, you got to talk about the Supercross Championship. It's so tight. It's going to be great. Some next week guests. We're going to work at getting some of the UTV champs on air. Obviously, Amy Hood, she's going to be back. I know we've talked with a lot of guests, and we've got some big ones in the pipeline. Can't make any announcements right now, but lots of great guests coming up. Got to give a big shout out to Polaris Razor, and big shout out to not only them but Best in the Desert, Mad Media. Joey D, UTV Underground, everybody that made the Polaris Razor UTV World Championship happen. That was a huge deal. But Polaris Razor for the support of this show. We are the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. Got to give a big shout out to General Tire and use that hashtag anywhere as possible. Tag at General Tire and let them know where your General Tires are taking you. Rigid Industries LED Lighting, the official lighting provider of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. DirtFish Rally School, and don't forget that coupon code for 10% off at DirtFish, capital JBDF 2015R, JBDF 2015R, 10% off your next purchase of a class at DirtFish Rally School. Got to thank UPR.com and go and check out their new website. JMAR Performance Brakes, Blue Water Resort and Casino, Wakeboard Island, KMC Wheels, Parker Motor Company, and Intense Tees, and as well as Baja Junkies. Go and check them out, BajaJunkies.com, and their full line of apparel there. Got to give a big shout-out to Antoine L'Estage, Amy Houde, Dani Medin, and all of you for listening in each and every week. Give us a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/DownAndDirtyShow, and make sure and download our app, available on Apple, iTunes, Google Play. And we got a couple thousand downloads by now. Always impressed by that. And thanks to all of you that follow us on Facebook, just to eclipse the 30,000 mark. And don't forget, this Thursday we have some huge announcements coming on a syndication deal. You definitely want to stay tuned to that. I'll be sharing all of that this Thursday, but the Down and Dirty Radio Show continuing to grow each and every week, and it's all because of you fans. So thank you for tuning in each and every week and making us the #1 off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet. I will be back at you next week. Don't forget to tune in to Rally America Radio Friday and Saturday. And as always, game on.